Hi folks, it's Chuck Newt, and I'm here with the Winking Pig Barbecue, and I want to continue on with our Concession Sink build. If you've been watching, you know that I was waiting on my table that I was going to mount the sinks into to get here, and they arrived today, so I'm going to continue on with this, and so follow along. We'll show you where we're headed. Okay guys, so first thing you're going to notice here is I got some obstacles to work around. Underneath this table, it's got these rails that run through here to both support the table, but also to mount the table legs to. And obviously I haven't done that yet. And so my sink needs to fit between these two rails as best as possible. I am probably going to have to, when I cut the hole out, I'm probably going to have to nick the flanges of these rails on the inside. And there's not much I can do about that. The other thing that I've got to worry about is that I have to mount faucets into this table as well. And so what I've got to do here is to make sure that when I put this all together, now see, I'm going to have to drill holes through that flange to allow these faucet stems to go down and through. They're plenty long enough to reach through, but they've darn sure got to be in the right place. Now then, so the first thing I need to do, this side over here is the front of the table, and it's going to be the easiest for me to measure from as far as setting these sinks. So the first thing I need to do, I need to get a measurement from here, from the front of the sink to the front of the table. And so the measurement I'm coming up with is 6 1/8 inches. And I'm going to give it an extra 8 on each side. So 6 1/8 will be 6 1/4. So we need to go 6 1/4. I'm going to draw an arrow to the front. 6 1/4, or 6 1/4, not 6 1/2. 6 1/4 on this. Now I need to measure also from the side to the sink, and I'm measuring 5 5/8 inches, and so that would be 5 3/4. Five 3/4. I also got to keep in mind, when I flip this table over to actually do the measurement, everything I'm measuring now is going to be at that end of the table. So then I also need to know how exactly big is the tank part of the sink. I have just turn it like that. 11 7/8 as far as what will extend down in. So we measure that on out, and remember we said 6 1/4 from that side, but we're also going to come now, I said 11 7/8. That's going to make it 12 inches by adding an 8. So 12 inches this way our hole is going to be, and from our 5 3/4, that is 5 and we're going to say 6 inches, so we're going to say 6 1/8. 6 1/8 inch. So this is the hole we're going to have to cut in this is going to be 12 inches by 6 1/8. We got to go in 5 3/4 from this edge and 6 1/4 from that edge. We also got to be very careful, make sure we got enough room for these stems to come down through and miss our legs. Okay, so we got our other set of sinks here. First of all, I found out that I measured this wrong, and I had to add an 1/8 inch. This is 6 inches from 6 inches. I want to make the hole a little bit big, not a little bit small. So I had to subtract an 1/8 inch from the front and add an 1/8 inch onto the length of our pan, which made it 12 1/8. And then I also had to make it, yes I did, 5 1/2 for the width of the hole. So I'm making the hole a little bit bigger to make sure that it slides down in. So the next thing we got to do is that we are going to measure for the 3 sink set, and our 6 inches is going to remain constant from the front edge of the table. So now all we've got to do is measure from one edge over, and then from the length of the whole set for the hole, and then also our 12 1/8 should remain constant, because the 12 1/8 is the depth from front to back on the table for each of our sinks, and it's the same for that sink as it is for all of these, because they're basically identical. So have a square, okay, I'm gonna tap this down just a little bit. I want a nice even number to work with here. 18 inches in. Now we gotta get this right, because there's no, I mean, cutting the hole too small we're okay with, but cutting it too big is not gonna be a good thing. Okay, looks like a 20-inch wide hole. See, well, we're going to go 20 1/8. 20 1/8 won't hurt us. Okay, so now the fun part. We flip it over. We try to transfer all this data onto the other side. I'm going to draw this using Sharpie here, and it's nothing that Barkeeper's Friend won't take off. I guess we're not going to flip it the other way. We're just going to flip this way, and we'll work with it. I told you I was going to have to measure from the other end. I was wrong. Okay, so first off, 5 1/2 inches. Something seems off here. 5 1/2. Ah, I am off. How the heck did I manage that? I was way off. 5 1/2. There we go. Our first line. And we're going to go 6 inches in. Now our 6 inches is going to remain constant all the way across. And then 12 1/8 is going to remain constant all the way across. That's 12 1/8 from here. So if we add 6 inches, that'd be 18 1/8. Now we gotta go 5 1/2. Making sure things are right here. No, I'm wrong. 6 1/8 from here. So that'd be 11 1/2, 11 5/8. Okay, 11 5/8. Now then, we're going to come over 18 inches plus. How do we do this now? There's our 18 inches. Then mark that. Make sure I measured this right. Sometimes the eyeballs play tricks. 18 inches. 18 inches. Okay, so there's our 18 inches. Then we were going 20 1/8. It'd be 20 1/8 from our 18 inches. It would be 38 1/8. Again, 38 1/8. Okay, so now I need to get myself a longer straight edge and some cutting tools, and we'll be right back. Now, and if you've ever done any steel fabricating like I have around here, you got a longer piece of metal that you can use as straight edge. Just go like that, and across there like that, and we'll have ourselves a cutout. Over here to this side, and that should be our cutouts for our sink. So let's get to it. Now the fun starts. Time to get some earplugs and our cutter and go to work. Okay guys, so this is a diamond blade here. They last a whole lot longer than the carbide blades. They are more expensive, but in the whole building of my smoker and everything, I think this is the third one that I've been using, maybe the second. No, I'll go with the third. But at any rate, as much work as they've been through, they're well worth the money. We'll put some gloves on here. Now you'll see, I got some water on here, and I did some research on cutting and drilling stainless steel, and they said to use water as a lubricant rather than oil. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going to do a plunge cut in here to get it started. Alright, so that's how it's done. Let's see what's holding us over here. This leaves a little trim job. Oh. All these cap nuts, or acorn nuts, have come loose. Gotta do something about that. Okay, give me a few minutes, I'll be back with you. We'll see if we can't get this other hole cut out. Okay folks, so you can see I got my table partially put together, and now comes kind of the moment of truth. And we're going to set our sinks down in here and make sure that everything looks okay. That's the hand wash sink. You see I got some play there, but no matter which way I go with it, I'm not uncovering the hole, so that's a good thing. Now then, here comes the dish wash sinks. Again, and we got some play forward to backward, but everything fits just fine. So now then, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get this dried off because I gotta make some new marks. I've got to make marks for the sinks. I should say, not for the sinks, for the faucets. So I got to figure out exactly where I want my faucets at, and because they've got to go above the sink, obviously, but we also need to make sure that we're catching fully that U-channel underneath the support, the table support. Then I'm going to drill a pilot hole all the way through, and then we'll come back and cut our holes for this. And I'm going to have to cut a hole from the top and then cut a hole back up from the bottom. That's the reason why I'm going to drill a pilot hole straight down all the way through. That's the hand wash faucet. And then this one is a much bigger faucet, and it will go somewhere like so, but it can reach to put water into both the side sinks like that, and so there we go. So that's next on my list. So let me get my drill hooked up and everything, find my step drill bit for cutting holes, and then we can make this happen. Okay guys, so I've kind of eyeballed this as far as getting this line, and so I've gone 4 inches from the backsplash out all the way across both sinks. Now then, this faucet is 4 inches on center. If you remember, this was 6 and an 8 across here. So we subtract the 4 inches from 6 and an 8, and we come up with 2 and an 8, and then we divide that by 2, and we should come up with 1 inch and a 1/16 on either side. So I'm going to measure 1 inch and a 1/16 here, 1 inch and a 1/16 there, and 1 inch and a 1/16 from the other side. And that's where my hole should be. Oh, and let's look at this other faucet. Okay, so center to center looks like 7 and 7/8. Center to center. 7 and 7/8. Whoops. 7 and 7/8. So we got to do a little math here. 7, 7, 8. Now then, if I remember right, this was 20 and that's 20 and an 8. Okay. So we got to do a little figuring. 7 from 20. Can't do that. Really? A 1/8. So we got to convert 1 inch, which would make this 19, and this would be 9/8 now. So that turns into 12, and this would be 2/8, which is 1/4. So we got 12 and a quarter. We got to divide by 2, which should be 6 and an 8. So we should go 6 and an 8 from here. 6 1/8. Over here. Do 6 1/8. Now if we pick up our faucet, those should match up. Make it look right. Those should match up, and they do. So this is where, in fact, I should do the same thing over here as well. And those match up as well. So that's where we're going to put our holes for our faucets. So let me grab my drill, and we're going to get hooked up and do a little drill work here. Okay guys, so here I got my super cheap power drill, and just so you know, I don't condone the use of water with electrical power tools. That being said, here goes. Now then, we're going to drill these pilot holes, which is exactly what they are, because we want to make sure that our holes on the bottom, the second piece of stainless down below, line up with these. Keep your drill bit cool. It's going to last a whole lot longer. You can't see it, there's definitely some steam coming up off this. So that's all those. Now then, we're going to use this funny looking thing called a step drill bit now. If I can figure out where I laid it. Okay, so this step drill bit goes all the way up to 1 3/8. We want 1 inch, which is about halfway up. Black marker here. And I'm going to mark the step that is 1 inch. Which is that black one right there. That way I can see it going around, and I'll know when it hits. Now we want to use some water over here too. Now not only am I'm also starting to drill down through the second piece of stainless here. Mainly I need to try to drill up a little bit. Okay guys, it took me a little while, but I finally got those holes drilled on for this one. Still got to work on those over there. Now your faucet has a plate that goes up underneath it here, and it's already up underneath there. In fact, and then it's kind of got this nut kind of a thing on the stem that goes underneath each one of your handles here. And you tighten that up, and that's what's going to hold that's what actually holds your faucet in place. And then your water lines are actually going to connect to those same stems. Now then, let me grab my sinks fit right like that. And there you go. You can see that the faucet's going to feed each one of these sinks, no problem. So now then, my next step is to go ahead and get these other two holes drilled over here. And I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it was easy. So we're going to get these other two holes drilled. I'm also going to take some barkeeper's friend or something. I'll probably pull this all back apart, get this, all the lines that I drew on it cleaned out, and the sink, the faucets will be in. So there we go. I'm going to finish this video here, but just know that when we come back on the next video, I should have my other faucets in, and we'll be ready to move on from there. So stay tuned, there's more to come.